Hey everyone, it's Pastor Steve Nanney, Faith Community Church, Indianapolis, Indiana. Hey, thanks for jumping on our YouTube channel and checking out this video about the first church. We are walking through the book of Acts together. Hey, and if you're not a subscriber, click on that subscribe button down below. We'd love to have you join our community of online followers. God's doing some amazing things in our church, and we have lots of things going on YouTube. Click on that subscribe button. Put your comments below. Let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to connect with you here online. But we've been talking about the book of Acts, and we've been talking about how Jesus, after his 40 days after the resurrection, he ascended to heaven, but he told his disciples to not depart Jerusalem. That if you could wait, gather together and wait. I'm going to do something that I've never done before. Jesus left earth, and I'm sure they felt isolated and alone after walking with Jesus for 3.5 years. They had watched him die. They had watched him resurrect. They had walked now in this great victory. And then 40 days later, Jesus is ascending. And I'm sure his disciples were thinking, what are we going to do now? But Jesus promised them, do not depart Jerusalem, because I'm going to send the Holy Spirit in power. And you're going to receive that power. And when you receive that power, you will be my witness. And so we talked about that he would give us the power we would need, that dunamis, dynamite power. He would fill us. The Holy Spirit would come. That was the promise, that we would be filled with power. Power to do what? Power to be his witness, to testify of what we've seen and what we've heard and what we've experienced. And then we understand that for 10 days, the first church gathered in an upper room. They prayed. They waited. They were doing what Jesus had told them to do. They were all together in one place. And then the Bible tells us, like we talked about last time, then suddenly there came from heaven a sound like a mighty rushing wind. It filled the house, and tongues of fire appeared, and they were all filled with the Holy Spirit. Watch this now. And they began to speak in other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. So now all of a sudden we have this supernatural move of God, that when the Holy Spirit came upon the first church, they were able to speak 15 different language groups, it lists in Acts chapter 2. And they took to the streets, and in everyone's native tongues, they were speaking about the wonders of Jesus, the cross of Jesus, the resurrection of Jesus. They were sharing the teachings of Jesus, and they were drawing people to Jesus himself. But this supernatural move of God, this power that Jesus had promised them, had come, and the Holy Spirit now was giving them power, supernatural power. Because as you understand, may or may not know, everyone was in Jerusalem for the Jewish feast called Pentecost. So literally everyone was already in town. All the nations, all the people groups, all the tribes, and all the different languages had already gathered to celebrate the Jewish feast. And so what did God do? God gave the ability to speak in all these different language groups to this first church. And in a supernatural way, they began to do exactly what Jesus said they would do. They were his witness. And in being their witness, as they shared the gospel, we see later that Peter then preached a message in power. And on that first day, the church grew from 120 people to 3,120 people. It's amazing what God can do when we are filled with his power. So I want to encourage you today. Ask God to fill you full of the Holy Spirit. The first church was full of power. They were the witness for Jesus there in Jerusalem. And then that fire spread all around the world. And the first church was a powerful church. And Jesus and God the Father and the Holy Spirit wants that same power in our churches today. Hey, thanks for listening. I'm encouraged by what God's doing in our church today, as well as what he did in the first church. So I pray that you'll seek help and guidance from the Holy Spirit, power from the Holy Spirit, as you walk in him. Thanks for listening. Click that subscribe button, comment below. We'd love to connect with you on here. God bless. Have a great day.